the guy that was cheating.
I'm not saying. So
tell the public.
Once they had stopped, Crawford was identified as the driver. According to police, officers observed a firearm on the floorboard on the driver's side. All 4 people, including members of Crawford's security team, were ordered out of the vehicle at gunpoint. I spoke with the head of Crawford's security this afternoon, who says he's still shaken up.
I'm not reaching for no gun, bro. Step out. Can I move my phone?
Might unlock all kind of strip clubs in Omaha. We don't know.
Seatbelt.
Step out.
Opening the door.
You can take
I'm
mine
opening the
off
door.
of me right here on my right. I'm keeping my fucking hands up.
I'm not reaching for no gun, bro.
Step out.
Can I move my phone?
Yeah, that's crazy.
The boxing world was rocked to its core when news broke that Terrence "Bud" Crawford and Saul Canelo Alvarez had been arrested in the aftermath of their controversial showdown. The shocking images, guns drawn, tension hanging heavy in the air, left fans stunned. Crawford, the undisputed champion, was hauled off like a street criminal, while Canelo's side...
And then, let's tell the world.
I mean, I side with you on this. Ultimately.
No.
I'm not really,
And then come to find out, ladies and gentlemen, this guy was cheating.
Silence in the chaos only fueled speculation about his legacy. Then came Floyd Mayweather. The man who once dismantled Canelo in the ring finally broke his silence, and his words dripped with venom. Mayweather didn't sugarcoat or play politics. His first lines cut straight through boxing's protective curtain. He flat out branded
that he got held at gunpoint, right? The cop pulled out his gun when Bud was in his seat, and he told him, get out the vehicle. And Bud said, I'm not reaching for no gun. Apparently there was a gun in the floorboard or something like that, which honestly, I don't know if he saw it or he did.
Canelo a cheat, shredding the excuses and dismantling the carefully built narrative around the Mexican superstar. This wasn't polished commentary or respectful analysis. It was an unfiltered assault on Canelo's reputation. The sting was sharper because of Mayweather's history. He's the man who once made Canelo look like an amateur, dominating him in one of the most one-sided super fights.
He's already had lawyers for his scenario, for his situation. They've represented him. I did read briefly earlier that he did have representation from a legal...
...of all time. Now with Crawford dismantling him years later, the circle felt complete. Mayweather's words weren't just personal. They were a warning. The truth, he suggested, was finally out in the open. While Canelo disappeared into silence, Crawford revealed his character. Even with law enforcement,
still kept the gun drawn on Terrence Crawford and pulled him out of the car and put handcuffs on him. Now, the question you ask yourself is, why did you feel that way? Well, the excuse was they felt threatened.
Enforcement closing in and guns pointed his way. Bud remained calm, his hands raised, giving them no excuse to escalate. It wasn't just survival, it was the mindset of a warrior. As journalist Gareth A. Davies pointed out, Crawford didn't panic or scramble.
Crawford, wow, you're losing your opportunity. You came, you conquered, and now what? Don't let your flame just go away. You're on...
Camp had anticipated chaos. Lawyers were already in motion, prepared to fight back. The contrast was striking. Canelo silent and withdrawn. Crawford poised and ready. Counterpunch boxing echoed the same view. For them, this wasn't about justice. It was about intimidation. Even with his composure intact, Crawford was dragged like a criminal. Yet he never cracked. That unshakable calm, that refusal to fold, is what makes him untouchable. Champions aren't just tested under the lights of the ring. They're tested when everything around them is designed to break them. Crawford just passed one of the harshest tests imaginable. Outside the ropes, Oscar de la Hoya soon entered the conversation. His words carried both admiration and warning. He praised Crawford's brilliance, calling him a rare talent in today's sport, but also reminded him...
Yesterday he said, I don't want to have egg on my face. I've got to get a job done here. So after the things he said the last time, he knows he probably mugged himself off. I think that probably hurt him more than anything.
...him that the spotlight doesn't last forever. Greatness, De La Hoya stressed, must be seized in every moment. And then came the jab at Canelo. While Crawford is maximizing his prime, pushing for legacy, Canelo has coasted, cashing checks, cherry-picking opponents, leaning on hype instead of hunger. Coming from a man who has lived both glory and regret, the critique cut deep. Johnny Nelson, never one to pull punches, focused on the psychology of it all. To him, this wasn't just about an arrest. It was about pride. Crawford doesn't speak lightly. When he talks, every word carries the weight of responsibility. Unlike fighters who boast without substance, Bud treats pride as a sacred burden. Nelson contrasted this with Canelo, cushioned by fame and fortune, who has grown complacent. Crawford, in contrast, channels pride into fuel. When tested, he doesn't crumble, he rises. Nelson's
try to win, bro. He went there for a paycheck, and it's disrespectful to boxing, bro. And he's cashing out of boxing, bro. It's sad to see, man. A great fighter, a legend, to be over there and just trying to cash out of boxing any way he can. It's honestly, it's a disgrace to the sport.
Conclusion was blunt. When pride is wounded, fighters either collapse or come back stronger. Crawford is the latter, and it makes him unstoppable. Rolando "Rolly" Romero struck the final blow, voicing what many fans were already thinking. Canelo's performance, he said, was an insult to boxing. He didn't step in for glory, only for a paycheck, a disgrace in a sport built on sacrifice, legacy, and sweat. In the end, the arrests, the silence, and the backlash all told one story. Canelo Alvarez is a man whose aura is fading, while Terence Crawford continues to prove why he's built differently. Even under pressure, even with the odds stacked, Bud remains unshaken, a champion not only in the ring, but in every test life throws his way. Rolando "Rolly" Romero's frustration echoed the feelings of fans everywhere. To him, Canelo's effort was unforgivable. Boxing deserves warriors willing to risk everything, not champions who sleepwalk through high-stakes battles.
Floyd Mayweather, top 5?
No, not in my book. No,
not even top 10?
Maybe top 10 in my book, yeah, but not top 5. He maybe top 10, but not top 5. Floyd can fight, don't get it wrong. Floyd can fight. But here's what my problem is. Well, I understand, I know you're a Floyd fan, but here's my problem. Who did Floyd fight that was on his level when he fought? Only Canelo. That's it. Don't give me that stuff about the other guy that was going to prison. He know he's going to prison when he get through. And then to take it even further,
he fought Cotto.
Then came Roy Jones Jr., and his take was as controversial as it was revealing. Roy fired directly at Floyd Mayweather's legacy, claiming Canelo had been Floyd's toughest test, but in the same breath he admitted Floyd toyed with him. The contradiction cut deep. On one hand, it questioned Mayweather's place among the all-time greats. On the other, it highlighted Canelo's fragility. If Floyd's toughest challenge looked like an amateur, what does that really say about Canelo's greatness? Roy may dismiss Mayweather as a top 5 fighter in history, but ironically, his comments reinforced the idea that Canelo was never on the same level as Crawford or Floyd. Time and again, legends have exposed pretenders, and history, it seemed, was repeating itself. Eddie Hearn, always attuned to boxing's business side, noticed something that others overlooked. Despite all the noise, neither Crawford nor Mayweather uttered a single word about each other in public. No.
There had to be something.
No, there wasn't.
Nothing?
Honestly.
Terrence didn't mention the fight, didn't say anything. You didn't talk to him about it. Floyd, not a peep.
Not a word.
Okay.
Sorry.
Whispers, no hints, no sound bites. That silence spoke volumes. To Hearn, it meant two things. Crawford was locked in on business, not drama. And Mayweather, ever the chess player, was keeping his cards close. In boxing, hype usually drives the machine, but Crawford doesn't need hype. His fists tell the story. The silence between him and Floyd only added to the intrigue. Was Mayweather secretly backing Crawford, staying neutral, or simply respecting a fighter cut from the same cloth? Whatever the truth, it fueled the mystery. De La Hoya wasn't finished either. He doubled down, reminding fans how Mayweather once embarrassed Canelo. That fight wasn't just a win, it was domination. Floyd toyed with him, untouched and unfazed. It remains one of the clearest examples of levels in boxing. And now, with Crawford drawing comparisons to Floyd, and in some fans' eyes even surpassing him, the narrative became brutal for Canelo. 2 eras, 2 masters, 1 result. Canelo exposed. Oscar's words weren't mere.
The fight said that Crawford is way better than Floyd. You know Crawford, you know Canelo, you know Floyd. What do you think? Who's winning the fight?
My man. I have to disagree because Floyd Mayweather toyed with Canelo. Like, he literally toyed with him. He didn't get hit at all. Not one time.
Their opinion. They were history. They reminded everyone that Canelo's legacy has always looked fragile next to true greats. Then Stephen A. Smith entered the fray, and his verdict left no room for debate. To him, Terence Crawford isn't just great. He's the best fighter alive. Pound for pound, the the King of Kings. The numbers speak for themselves. Undisputed at 140, undisputed at 147, and now chasing undisputed at 168. In the four-belt era, fighters dream of doing it once. Crawford has done it 3 times. That isn't hype. It's generational greatness. Stephen A's passionate words echoed fans across the globe. Crawford isn't chasing headlines. He's chasing immortality. Compare that to Canelo, who cherry-picked fights and cashed out when the stakes grew too high. Bud isn't running. He's storming forward, silencing critics, rewriting boxing history in real time. At the heart of it all lies one undeniable truth. Boxing is staring at a legacy fight like no other. If Crawford wins...
Terence Crawford is the best fighter on the planet. Pound for pound, he's that dude. In this 4-belt era, he is now the undisputed world champion 3 times over. 140 pounds, 147, now 168 pounds, claiming all the belts. You don't see people doing that very often. Going up against a guy who was perceived as being bigger and stronger, Crawford was strong. Crawford was strong enough to...
He cements himself as the undisputed pound-for-pound king, a 3-time undisputed champion in the modern era. If Canelo shocks the world, he salvages his reputation and rewrites his story. But ask yourself, who's hungrier? Crawford's calm under fire, his refusal to crack even with guns pointed at him, proved his mind is unbreakable. Canelo, meanwhile, looks weighed down by expectations, silence, and doubt. This isn't just a fight. It's a collision of eras. Pride versus excuses. Hunger versus complacency. Greatness versus fading hype. Boxing fans, the choice is yours. Do you believe in Crawford's greatness, or are you still holding out for a Canelo miracle?